She just announced you.
Stars shining bright on worlds below. Lift up your voice and praise them so. Love and say they'll be praised and so. Come listen closely, it's almost the hour to dream. For when clocks' hands they meet, you can suddenly see the unseen. And here lives worlds between waking and sleeping, rich in the secrets they're keeping. Quiet for midnight is creeping close. Now look, there's a princess trapped in a tower above the sea. Her love is the master of dreams, but he's not royalty. And songbirds fly above tenderly singing. What are these gifts they are bringing? Well, they help the princess from the fire that burns, while an evil magician steals hearts from the flowers to fly above. The mermaids who sing songs in hopes of ensnaring true love. Quiet, and I'll tell the tale of the farmer if you'll believe me, for these are the facts that exist in our sweet fantasy. And quiet, you do not want to awake the giant asleep in his cave, or scare the brave bunny who's trying to save the world. Go, it's almost the window for the Midnight Radio Show. Once upon a time, long, long ago, on a planet far, far away, the planet Weate, to be precise, there was a hollow where a tribe of fairies lived. This was no ordinary hollow, no ordinary tribe of fairies. These fairies were situated to act as guardians of the Prellwood of Weate. But you see, this was long ago, and a Prellwood was something different then. It is more than it is now. We know a Prellwood to simply be an enchanted glade of magic, the temples of the many worlds. But in the beginning, these were the places where the Imwin grew the most important of all the flowers, the Betharathi, the flowers that create the orbs, the seeds of life, the hearts of the planets, with which the Imwin made all the worlds of the galaxy habitable and comfortable for all kinds of life. The sky turtles hatch nearby and swim in the streams. The Pegasus flies overhead. The fat baby unicorns frolic in the fields. And the fairies smile and laugh and look over them all. However, where there is light, there is also shadow. And the Rusatori, the Wardia of the world Weate, had grown jealous of the Imwin. They envied the sky turtles, who could fly through the blue of the sky and the blue-black of the cosmos, through outer space between the many worlds. The Rusatori envied Pegasus, who could change from any animal that he wished. Pegasus, the most amazing warrior of all the galaxy, who in battle could leap and change from stallion to bear to lion, all in an instant. The Rusatori envied the unicorns, for a unicorn can grant wishes, and in their presence there can be no lies, only the truth spoken. Envied the fairies, for they have a seemingly endless capacity for celebration and joy, pleasure and companionship. They can eat, drink, dance, make love, laugh, and make the flowers bloom on, and never seem to tire. But most of all, the Rusatori envied the Imwin altogether for their power, their ability to make new worlds habitable, planting their glowing seeds, the orbs from the Betharathi flower among the stars, envied the Imwin's status as the gods of the place, revered by all other creatures, even the peopleish. The Rusatori thought bitterly, the peopleish that are meant to be our wards and disciples, yet they pray to the Imwin and hardly know us from a beam of light or a flicker of shadow. Yes, the Rusatori stewed and raved. It is not fair the Imwin should have all that magic for themselves, all that power. And so the Rusatori formulated a plan as dastardly as any other. They would sneak into the Prellwood and steal an orb for themselves from the Betharathi flower. With it, they would sneak out into the wide galaxy and make a new world just for themselves and peopleish. A world with no Imwin, where the peopleish and other mortal creatures would know only the Rusatori as the gods of the place. The Rusatori schemed and dreamed. Their selfish vision took shape in their minds. World is a living place. As the Rusatori whispered and plotted their thievery, the very roots of the trees growing nearby felt the threatening, insidious rage of it. This they translated into a warning sent through the earth from root to tree, tree to flower, until finally it formed into a prophecy, the first prophecy of the galaxy. And so the elders among the Imwin called a summit, a gathering atop a great mountain. Shooting stars filled the night sky, and shivering rainbows fluttered in the sunlight, and dreams were sent. In this way, they rallied the Imwin from across Wiate to a meeting to address this new and unknown threat. In the hollow, by the Prellwood, the fairies, unicorns, Pegasus, and Sky Turtle alike flew and galloped away, off to the far mountain and this gathering. All but one fairy by the name of Jalouisa, and one fat baby unicorn who was newly born, Habitabi. Not far from the Prellwood was a village where a tribe of peopleish lived. People are humanity-shaped creatures who live short, passionate lives of 100 years or less. And here lived a man, Odax, a human man with a good heart, and he wished more than anything to be in love. He had witnessed some of his friends experiencing such a thing, and he longed to know this passion and discovery, this pleasure and madness for himself. As we know, the peopleish generally pray to the Imwin, though many among them will feel a certain affinity to a certain Imwin, and they will direct their prayers and meditations to that specific mystical ancient one. For Odax, it was the Pegasus he felt watching over him. So when the man went to the shrines, he lay himself before the statue of Pegasus and made offerings that Pegasus likes. Crunchy things such as nuts and bones, and strong flavors such as whiskey and lemonade. He made his plea to Pegasus. "I am so grateful to know so much love in my life," quoth he, "love for my family and friends, my tribe, and yet I have not known this certain kind of romantic love yet, and I wish for it with all my body and soul." Odax looks up, and there sees a flash of golden gossamer wings, Pegasus flying overhead of him. He feels blessed and takes off across the land, good omen as far as it will lead him. First he comes to a bay, and here a flock of merfolk swim and frolic in the waves. Odax kneels at the water's edge, knowing that mermaids love shiny things as much as everyone else, and so he takes a bright stone from his pocket and offers it to the mermaids. They take it and admire its gleam. This gives Odax courage, and so he tells the mermaids of his quest to fall in love. The mermaids leap and smile, and then they give him a great shell and bid him sing his hopes into the pearly living shell. Far away in the forest, the fairy Jalouisa lies among the flowers. In her dreams, a voice is singing to her, as sweet as honey on the tongue, and as gentle as the caress of water on the skin, as deep as a hug, and she smiles at the sensation. Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty-night and kiss me. Hold me tight and tell me you'll miss me while I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm tempted to linger till dawn, dear, just singing this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave your worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Whenever he is unsure of his course, he looks to the sky for the glint of the golden gossamer wings to guide him. Following ever onwards, deeper and deeper into the forest. Ahead, there is a suggestion of a brighter place, a place bathed in light, and Odax approaches. Here there is a tree among all the other trees, and this one takes his breath away. He feels his heart pounding in his chest. The tree is shapely and curving, luscious, as if the bark were the soft, rounded skin of many fruits, as if dozens of bodies had fused to present dozens of large, sumptuous breasts, each with a perfect poke of nipple to adorn its mound. Odax falls to his knees, overcome, breathless. He wants blessing, he says up to the branches. The tree sways as on imperceptible wind, and this he takes as a blessing and approaches. He admires, kisses, cups, caresses each breast of the tree in rapture at this strange beauty. Not far away into the forest, Jalouisa dreams that strong, beautiful hands are touching and caressing her skin with longing and admiration. She is tingling and hot all over at this wonderful sensation. Desire awakens within her, though she is not sure why. Odax continues on his way. Soon he comes to the outskirts of the Prellwood. And here, great exotic flowers of many shapes, colors, and sizes grow, magnificent scents intoxicating the air as he breathes. He cannot help but stop to admire, smell, exclaim over such beauty. Moonlight and sunlight mix together to illuminate a flower that is all at once familiar and foreign to him. The Cocalico flower. Butterflies swirl, an intricate dance above and around it. And Odax suddenly feels as if he is a bee drawn to the nectar. He stoops to drink in the mist of dew, the honey and pollen cradled within the luscious petals. Close by, among the flowers of the Prellwood, the fairy Jalouisa dreams that the purring voice is singing in her ear. The strong and trusting hands touch her body as in wonder. A hungry mouth kisses her all over. I'm done. She awakens and flies across the Prellwood. And there she beholds a man, Odax. At first glance, an ordinary man, a simple peopleish, but in his eyes danced great courage to love. He had been leaning over the Cocalico flower, but now he straightens and seems to see only her. all over each other, as if to make sure the other is real. And then they are lying among the grass and soft moss, what garments they had shed and forgotten, as they discover and invent ecstasy between them. lest we forget, the Rusatori had been laying in wait for some time at the edge of the Prellwood. Waiting to enact their dastardly plan. But great passion can form a spell of its own, and as the night wore on, and the lovers made love under the moon, cast a powerful magical shield of protection over the whole of the Prellwood, and the Rusatori found they could not enter. Not until dawn came, and the lovers had exhausted themselves and lay limbs entwined, as finally they slept. And so the Rusatori crossed into the sacred place, knives and shovels ready to detach the orb from its flower, or the flower from the earth where it grew. But thankfully, the fat baby unicorn, Hobby Tobby, had slept the night away beneath the flowers, and now awakened, alarmed at the sight of the vile Rusatori, tools in hand and greed for power in their hearts. The unicorn, Hobby Tobby, runs to awaken the sweethearts, whinnying in distress. To attempt rescue. In the center of the Prellwood grows the Betharathi flower with orb glowing. And the Rusatori menacing with their shovels and knives drawn, and all around them the many great flowers grow. Confronted with this scene, Odax and Jaloisa cry out and touch the stalks of the flowers near them for courage. And suddenly, the giant flowers come alive. In a shiver of iridescent enchantment, the great flowers move with remarkable speed, opening their great petaled faces, closing over the ill-intentioned Rusatori, swallowing them whole. The ground seems to swell, and the clearing is suddenly empty of Rusatori, empty of threat. Jaloisa and Odax sigh, relief and wonder. And so, all was well, and time went on. And the moral of the story, into the wild woods and make love under the sun or the stars and moon, and so the practice is very highly recommended. You're listening to Midnight Radio Show. Thank you, lovely Sukeshi Damia. The magnificent L.A. Rucker. Charlotte Lily Gaspard, and we are